One of my other projects that I was doing here in the hot month of August was to try to scrape more of the grass off of the driveway. I didn't quite get it all when I had the skid steer, so I've hired another excavator to finish this up, so he can cut down the height of the driveway a couple of inches, and then I can lay some weed block in and bring in 25 to 30 tons of gravel for this driveway. It rained last night. Again, today is the 26th of August 2023, and it rained a lot last night. I think we probably had an inch to 2 inches of rain, and you can see there's no standing water here, so this is well-drained soil. But of course I don't want to have the sandy soil as my driveway surface, so again I've hired an excavator to come in and pick up the last bits of vegetation and to grade this down 2 to 3 inches so that I can bring in gravel and have a nice gravel driveway. The other project I did outside was my neighbor behind me had a few tons of topsoil. He had lengthened and widened his driveway and had stripped off the topsoil and piled it up in the back of his house. He was kind enough to give the topsoil to me, and what I have done is I have now placed it around the entire pole building. So this was all done by hand, in the fact that I had to go to my neighbor's yard, which is just over yonder, and get all this topsoil and load it into innumerable numbers of trips with a wheelbarrow, and again place it all around the pole building. So as I say, we had a lot of rain last night, so you can see that my attempt to capture the rainwater in this cistern failed a little bit, and I had a washout here, so I'm going to have to repair this. This won't be as bad once I get something growing on this. But you can see in the space where the topsoil has been placed and just rained on it, it held up okay. Here obviously I've got this washout, which is why I left this berm of debris at the property line, so that this washout wouldn't go too far onto my neighbor's property. That orange flag in the distance and the pink flag further on, that is the property line. So the berm did what I expected it would do if in case I did have a washout, which I did. So I've got to figure out a way to handle this, and once I do, then I can get the grass seed down. Actually, I'm going to be planting clover, and I'm going to do that today. It's not supposed to rain again until Tuesday, so hopefully I can get the clover seed down, and within a few days it will start to sprout and anchor the soil. So I've got to figure out what's happened here and see how I can address that. Obviously you can see where the washout carved out not only the topsoil, but carved out some of the fill underneath. So as soon as I can figure out what happened there, and it looks like more that happened on the left side of the cistern than on the right side of the cistern, then I can move along with that. So in the meantime, that's that little bit of a project. By and large, the soil held up in the rain, except for where the washout was. And you can see the ants have been busy overnight excavating their flooded out community. And as I say, the clover seed is very, very, very small, and but I've got enough to cover this area with seed, and hopefully now that it's nice and moist now, the soil, I probably won't have to water it today, but you do have to mist it every day. It needs to be kept moist, and we'll see what happens in about 10 days or so. Hopefully I'll get a little bit of clover sprouting, and that, again, that'll start to anchor this topsoil around the pole building. And eventually I'll get it squared away with the rest of the yard. And the important thing is this was regraded here. My neighbor's shells were moved back, and then fill was put in under here, as you can see, to bring this up a little bit, because with a heavy rain like we had last night, there would be a little pond here, but now there's no standing water, and so I know I got the grade correct there. And the grade is close to being where I want it here. I might have to fill up a little bit here in the middle, but I'll have more fill when the driveway gets excavated, and it takes time, but it'll get done eventually, and in a couple years everything will be as if it had been that way since the beginning of time. So hope that my clover grows, and I'll figure out what happened with that washout, and then we'll be on to the next thing. That's it for now. We'll see you in another video.